It gives me great pleasure to have Arron Scrace on, first team manager for Sidley United. First of all, hello.
Hello. Evening.
Hello.
How are we?
Evening. You're right, sir. Lots has happened at Sidley in a fairly short space of time. Obviously, Jon was manager there, did the League and Cup double. I don't know how many plates you're juggling at the moment. Obviously, you used to be the reserve team manager at
That's right.
Sidley. And do you want to go through what's happened? I mean, obviously, Jon has had resigned after a magnificent season for Sidley.
Yeah.
Trailblazers.
Quick rundown of it all. We had Jon resign. The first team had pulled out from the Mid-Sussex League, and now we're just focusing on the next steps, basically. It's been a hectic summer for us. It's been, since the end of the cup final, we've been non-stop behind the scenes trying to put things into place for the upcoming season. Yeah, with Jon resigning, I think he had it in his head that he wanted a bit of a new challenge, and I can't blame him really. He's been at the Sidley frontside manager for the last 5 years, 5-6 years. So, and he's been there and won everything he can. He can't step forward in the plans that he wanted to. So yeah, it's only fair that he goes out to seek a new challenge with. Hopefully he gets to where he wants to be. Yeah.
In terms of your squad,
yeah,
the reserve, what was the reserve team? Is that now going to just become the first team?
Yeah.
One of the main things that obviously must be pressing on you is obviously the ground situation. What's the latest on the ground situation? Because you were at Little Common. For people that don't know, you were at Little Common. Wasn't it that they couldn't have you there?
Yeah. So with Little Common, it's an issue with lighting, I believe, as far as my knowledge goes, that they only have a certain amount of floodlit evening games that they're allowed up there. So having two county sides which have to play midweek games wasn't viable. So it couldn't go ahead. Little Common have priority there because obviously it's their ground. Now they're back from ground sharing with Eastbourne.
So yourselves, have you got anywhere lined up, or is there a potential place you could be playing?
As it stands, we will be playing at Little Common this season. We hope to enter a reserve side, subject to, we've currently applied for it, so it's just a case of waiting for the league's approval.
And what's your reserve side? What division would they be in?
We're sort of pushing sort of middle of the Sussex, so sort of a 2/3, hopefully. Because we got the taste of having two sides, so we want to keep that going. Because as much as we've taken a step back, we don't want to go too far back, but really, and keep developing as best we can under the circumstances. The only downside is we need to face the reality that we are a homeless club. We don't have a set ground. So, we spent the last 6-7 seasons playing out over at Hooe, middle of nowhere, really. With the greatest respect, it's probably one of the best pitches you can get at step 8 junior football. But it's not practical for a club of Sidley stature that need to get back into the community and start giving back to the community and pushing on with.
Well, with that, is there any... I don't want to bring up the word council here because I know that from Hastings United, bloody council. But with Sidley, is there anywhere potentially lined up?
Yeah, we're exploring a few options. Of course, the main aim is always to get Gulliver's back. Gulliver's is our home at the end of the day, but that's not going to be moving anywhere anytime soon. But we are exploring a few options, but of course, a lot of work behind the scenes at the moment, trying to find ourselves a permanent home.
Nothing firm yet. Nothing firm.
No, nothing firm yet. So hopefully, within the next few weeks, we might have some more answers on that. But for now, we're set up to be playing at Little Common and at Hooe next season with our reserves.
Yeah. So just to be clear, so Little Common, they have the issue with the floodlight games. So how will they get round that this season then, this coming season? So
where we've dropped back from Mid-Sussex or haven't stepped into county, we have no need for the floodlights.
I see. Okay. All right then. Since I've kind of tried to dip into this in terms of trying to cover local football, because I still think it's just an outrage that local football isn't covered at all well anymore. The paper hardly has anything in it. And okay, Twitter, but not so many are on Twitter. But yeah, since I've kind of tried to get in contact with all the clubs and talk to people, like the stuff that's been going on at Sidley, it does seem like I'm amazed you still got. We obviously there's no picture of you there, Arron, but I have seen a picture of you. It's amazing you still got your hair, mate, because it must be what next.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure it won't be very long before that comes out. The stresses that comes with it. I mean, yeah, it's crazy that how much time and effort does go into it, and unsung hours as well. It's crazy, but I mean, we just all club together and push on through it. So we try and make it as best we can, regardless of the situation, regardless of obviously people moving on.
Well, that's
options available to us. Yeah,
real community club. That's
exactly.
When you've got that deep rooted links that the people aren't just going to walk away and leave the ship. In terms of any fan, obviously we talk with anyone that's Sidley fan here. Like, so you can guarantee everything's secure. You're looking to push on this season.
Yeah, we do want to push on. I mean, depending on where we're placed, I know the East Sussex League are having a bit of a reshuffle at the moment. So if we stay in Division 1, and I highly expect to win it, must admit. Obviously, that's pending if the squad decide to stay, because it's going to be a very long summer, no doubt. People, there's always a lot of broken promises at this level, which that's just the ins and outs of it. But I mean, but even if we're pushed into the Prem, I feel like we will compete, because I didn't think there was that much difference in the two leagues. I mean, you want to play as high as you can. So if we can step into intermediate football, then that would be brilliant. I mean, we've only really been going for one full season. Yeah, we started initially in the COVID-ridden season, and that got curtained and then replaced with a cup. Just need to surround myself with not just the right players, but the right people as well. Like you can bring in any old player, but as long as they suit the dressing room, that's the way you're all going to benefit. I mean, during the COVID Cup, I had the privilege of having Chris AGUTTER step in, and the impact he had, especially on the younger players, because they all knew him as Aggie, the Hastings manager. Yeah, like it really did transform the way we played. I mean, we were turning over the Brem Tides in that cup.
Do you ever dip in, like, obviously because Ags was there, and I mean, I talked to Aggie quite a bit, and because he's a really, he always helps out. He helped me out with this podcast stuff. He was always there for us. But you ever have a little chat with him? Do you ever get any little insights from him occasionally? Or?
I did, I got so much from Aggie. I really did. I mean, he come across first and just sort of said, like, he goes, I want to come and play football. He went, you're more than welcome to pick my brain, but I won't get involved in any of your management style or anything like that. He goes, but if there's anything you want to ask me, like, feel free to. And he was just such a breath of fresh air, because we had him during the COVID Cup, because Hastings season got cancelled, didn't it? Yeah. So he didn't have anything to do. So he's like, I really want to lace up the boots. So I was like, well, come and sign for me, and then you can play in this cup. And the impact he had, honestly, he just raised the level of everyone around him. And that's why we went from being like Div 1 relegation fodder to sort of knock it. Well, we beat Battle, and the only thing that done us was a rule that I had no idea about. Otherwise, we'd have won it. Why not? We won't talk about that.
Yeah, we won't.
Yeah, no. But I mean, Aggie was brilliant. I had conversations with him after training, where I was there till sort of 9 o'clock, and we'd finished training at sort of 7:30.
But you need to be obsessed, a bit like yourself. You'll be bloody obsessed, didn't you? So exactly. It'll get you places, Arron. It will.
It will. Yeah. I mean, I would love to get back to playing. That's the goal. That's the goal. I want to do this as a player manager, but I can't. Not yet. Not just yet. Hopefully.
Yeah. How far are you away from sorting?
So, I had an operation in October. So I took over the role back in, what was it, January? I'd done my injury in January 2020 when I was playing for the first team, and then COVID and everything happened, misadvised recoveries, and so I took over in the summer of 2020, literally 3 weeks before the season was due to start. No players, no nothing. I scraped a team of misfits together and haven't looked back. Yeah, that's it. This is why I find it hard to let go. And this is my nest egg. This is what I've built. So it just goes a long way. So I'm glad I've got myself a good group of. Well, they're all mates. which is the best part. And they're all welcoming to all the new people coming in. I mean, we've had a lot of interest as well with players wanting to come in, and that stems right down to 16-year-olds wanting to step into men's football. So it's all looking very promising on the pitch. It's just all the off the pitch things to go along with it.
Well, yeah, hopefully, you know, as we move into the pre-season, then these things can kind of be put to the sidelines completely. You know, as you say, Jon done a great job at your club, and he's looking to do something else now. Personally, it was a bit of a worry when I saw this stuff going on. I thought, oh God, you know, they're not going to fold. And as you're saying to me here, that's clearly not going to happen. That's what we want to hear. Do you know what I mean?
No, we're still alive and kicking. We were torn between whether to pull out the Mid-Sussex and regroup in the ESFL, which I feel was the best outcome, because I believe he stepped down the day after the cup final, the county cup final. And for us, it was just such a short time to advertise an interview before there was a re-registration date, sort of mid-May, for the Mid-Sussex League. So we didn't want to re-register the first team in the Mid-Sussex League, because if then we can raise a side, because it wasn't just the manager we had to replace. Like, as far as my knowledge goes, like, it was a whole team to replace.
Because no one's under any contracts.
Exactly that. And so there was a couple of people interested, but they were interested in the job, but they didn't have the players or the players to step into that Mid-Sussex Prem role. And I toyed with the idea this season of getting my reserves into the Mid-Sussex Championship, so both sides could then play in Mid-Sussex. We looked at the idea, but I had a half and half decision amongst my squad, so I made the decision to not step across and just stay in the East Sussex League, just to establish ourselves, because the one thing we really struggle with at this level is player commitment. And I'm sure every manager is clapping their hands, and everyone's in the same boat, really. The player commitment isn't what it used to be. I mean, I'm nearly 30, but I've been playing at this.
Been around long enough.
Too long. Yeah, I mean, this is it. 14 years in East Sussex and around, and it's nothing like it used to be.
Really?
So, the commitment of players. Like, I could go through every excuse in the book, I must admit. But I've heard just this season, and I'm sure everyone else can. But I mean, you just sort of do. Well,
there seems to be a bit of money. There's a bit of money knocking about at the moment, isn't there? That's what I've read. That's
definitely not down here. So I know money is the big question on everyone's lips at Sidley, but as a club, there is not a single penny that has left the account to go into a player's pocket. And like, we would invite anyone down, an open invite to, if you want to come and have a look at our bank statements. It's simple as that, really. We haven't paid players, we never have. Social media has obviously been the one to really sort of fire that subject up, and it's all I ever see, I must admit. Like, whenever something is mentioned in Sidley, there's always someone having a pop at, oh, money involved. But it shows how far that word can spread, because we had a reserve game down in Yapton, down near Bognor Regis, County Cup. Had bare 11 players, went down there, got turned over, and the players were goading because they thought that we got paid. Like, and that just shows the power of social media, how far things can go. And
it's that Chinese whispers, isn't it? One more person starts it, and then
that's it. And as I said, like, I'd say right now, like, as a club, we have not paid a single player. Simple as that. The invite's there. If anyone wants to come to one of our meetings, we'll quite happily print out the bank statements for the last 5-6 years. No problem. But I hope no one takes that up. Bloody looking at bank statements. Bloody hell. Exactly. I mean, they're more than welcome to.
But that's as you say. That's the Twitter, and that's people all experts. Everyone, they're all experts.
Exactly.
Well, you know, obviously the best thing that Sidley is secure, that you're playing next season. Now, obviously you've got your first team manager, but it's actually now your co-first team manager. It's a Mark Lynch has come in.
Lynch, yeah. So Lynchy come in initially looking at the first team role, and I've only ever heard of Lynchy before actually meeting him, and knowing that he's been down at Little Common before Russell Eldridge took over. So for me, knowing of Lynchy, it was ideal for me to bring him in or suggest him coming in to take over with me, because like he's been out of the game for a while, so he didn't have the contacts to make a squad for the Mid Sussex League. So the suggestion was, why don't you come and do it with me? And I mean, we haven't looked back since. Like, we've both been working non-stop.
I was going to say, I've been caught up with him,
I mean, I was with him before the interview, funny enough. It's just been non-stop, like trying to put things into place, ideas, and it's nice to have someone alongside you that you can bounce some ideas off as well. I mean, he's been non-stop. He's using every contact he's got just to come up with different ideas and really sort of look at how we can push the club forward.
You've got some pre-season games sorted yet?
I have, yes. So our schedule is fully booked. We start off against Harry Stapley's Westfield.
Nice fixture.
So we start off against Harry Stapley's Westfield team on the 16th of July. Games against Little Common Reserves, Crowhurst, Punnett Town, Victoria Baptist, Bexhill 23s. That would be a good game. They're a very good side. Very good young organised side. And then, Northiam as well. And that sort of takes us right through to sort of beginning of September, sort of mid-July to beginning of September, but we will look to start our pre-season mid-June. But the boys, I'll give them credit, they've not wanted to stop. So we've been continuing with a session up at the college every week. And I mean, we're still getting sort of 18 turning up every week.
That's good. Well, I bet a few of them are quite fired up here. There's a point to prove here.
Exactly, yeah. There's a point to prove, and there's a hunger as well. I mean, we didn't have the greatest finish to our season. Injuries and scheduling sort of made that a tricky one. We ended up finishing fourth in the end, and we got to a semi-final of the cup. But I mean, we had 2 league games in 2 months, so trying to plug the weeks up with friendlies, it was always a case of, if I managed to sort out a friendly, I didn't have a team together. But if I had a team together, I couldn't get a friendly. It was such a tough time trying to keep everyone happy and interested as well, so we could fulfill those final games.
Yeah, it's a funny old. I mean, that's the one of the things I find with the under 23s at Hastings as well. Some of the fixtures it's chaotic. It's just all over the place. And ours, particularly getting over there, because a lot of people want to go see their local sides. Yeah, definitely. And then fixtures are. I mean, what would you pin that on? Like the fact that you've only had 2 games in 2 months. I mean, what is that just the league's fault? Is that them being numpties, or what is it?
I'm sure it's a bit of a mixture of a few things, to be honest. I mean, we were quite lucky that Hooe has got the best drainage I've ever seen for a non-league pitch. Yeah, I mean, we've played in some horrendous conditions, but I mean, we've fulfilled our fixtures. But then we've also had quite a few postponements. The teams we were due to play in got through to sort of many cup finals. Like, I mean, Tackleway went on and won the county cup. So they had that cup run along with a few others, and so did Rye, and they were our last 2 league games. So it just continued. But I mean, it's quite difficult when you know for a fact that you get to Christmas and you've played sort of 10 out of your 16 games and you're only left in 1 cup. So like trying to keep them interested and trying to work out how that's going to sort of stretch to April when everyone else finishes. It's a bit of a struggle. And I mean, some players have got the interest in the Mid Sussex League because their leagues are bigger. The games go further. I mean, what did they have? Was it 24 games, 26 games? Yeah. I mean, that speaks volumes. I mean, even if we could get up to 20, like I'd be happy with that. I'm sure the players would be too. And that's enough time then from September to around late April, mid-April, to get those fixtures in, along with cup games, I'm sure. But then I know the league's been in worse positions where there's been horrendous weather that has postponed so many games that we had to do midweek games, because when the clocks change in March, there's no harm in playing a midweek game if we're running behind. But I'm sure the league are sort of aware because, I mean, go back sort of 7-8 years ago, we had 6 or 7 divisions in the East Sussex League. Now we're down to, was it 5 or 6?
Mm.
I mean, but the divisions are so reduced in teams. I think one division had 7 sides, maybe. So they're only sort of effectively getting 12 or 14 games a season. It's not much, and you fly through them. You do fly through them fairly quick. I don't know. It's all up in the air. Mixture of things. Yeah, there's so much. So many.
Least of your worries, Aaron. That isn't it?
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Just win them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We can only beat what's put in front of us.
Exactly.
Whatever time they put in front of us, but we'll be ready. I'm sure. Looking forward to it.
Excellent, Aaron. Listen, absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me on.
Best wishes to Sidley. Let's hope you smash it this season. And I'll have you on again at some point soon, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's good.
Cheers, Aaron. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yeah, cheers.